Welcome back to First Listen, everybody. My name is Tenthile, and I hope you're doing well today. This time on First Listen, we checked out Deafheaven's latest release, their fourth studio album, Ordinary Corrupt Human Love. What an album. Let me first just start off. This album is something else. Let's leave it at that. We'll get into the listen here in a second. I feel like I need to talk about how we came across Deafheaven. It was in such an organic manner that it's weird. It's weird. Just listening to other metal and then seeing like, oh, hey, you really should check out this band. That's it. It was so organic. And man, my first introduction to this band was Sunbather. And that album to me was so awesome that I showed my wife, who doesn't even like any kind of metal, and she was kind of like, wow, there's something there. That's, neither here nor there, but this band has always been something special. Now, their previous stuff notwithstanding, they are definitely a metal band. And I feel like if you listen to them, just one listen to an entire album, they'll become one of your favorites. So this may come off a little biased. I hope you enjoy it anyway. Let's get into this first listen. The album opens with some very elegant piano, some awesome guitar on You Without End. This track is accompanied by a vocal recording that did kind of catch me. It is different to have kind of a sample or a recording in here, but it's more the drums and more specifically the vocalization in here that caught my ear. It really hooked me right away, as this band always does. It's something to be hooked by a band, just hearing the guitars, that pulling you in, and then the vocals. And more specifically with this band, we can't always understand all the vocals. We really have to listen. And sometimes, for me, more specifically, I have to consult the lyrics and kind of follow along, because I can sometimes get lost in all the screams and the whole vibe. And man, it's really all this like pure atmosphere with this band that sometimes you can kind of get lost in the music. And that's a beautiful thing. And I feel like everything kind of is this grand setup for when the vocals cut in. And I mean cut in. And it's back to these roots of being more simple lyrics, but so impactful that you can't help but enjoy what you're listening to. And in some instances, you're listening to some really deep, dark subject matter. And, well, we have to wrestle with that, but it's pretty awesome. Fading in off the previous track's coattails, I guess, if you will. And then kind of just jumping right into it, we have Honeycomb. And this track wastes no time at all. Whew! The thunderous drum and the guitars just serve to kind of guide us through, lead us along. And the screams are really slow at first, and then at some point they decide to be just completely elongated, and they grab a hold of you. They pierce right through you. They feel like they're more full of substance. And if you actually go and look at the lyrics, there's a lot going on here, not just like one word or two words. It's telling a really deep story, and I'm going to have to probably go back and really dissect it to figure out exactly what's going on, but I like what I hear. And the guitars really carry this track with the bends, the slides, just this pure transcendence that you can't really explain, and you shouldn't. Peacefully and slowly Canary Yellow lulls you, but not to sleep. Instead, it puts you in this state of complete willingness just to kind of take whatever is going to happen. And then when it's ready, the pace quickens and the vocals knife in a little harder, a little rougher, a little more clarity here. Very interesting that we can clearly hear everything, and now that we finally can hear it, it really, really hits us. And once again, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the guitars. They are so excellent. Unbelievable on this whole album. But right here, they actually set up these final 2 minutes that are just completely insane in the best way. Man, these last 2 minutes are incredible. More beautiful strumming on the guitar here for Near. A track that kind of serves as an intermission, or so we thought. And that's until we're graced with these spoken vocals that I really would have never expected from this band. And the essence of them, as they just sit behind everything. Man, these vocals are really good, well delivered, but there is a lot going on in these. Oh man. I hesitate to even reference them because they're just so perfect the way they are, but they are definitely deep and full of sadness, and that is really well pulled off here. The sadness slightly rubs off, but only slightly, on Glint as the guitars bring us in, slow and waning at first, and then stepping it up several notches as these vocals once again hit. They blast through, so raw, so pure. And man, the deepest one by far, the final word, crawl. You just feel all of the emotion, all of the anguish, all of everything. Man, they go so deep. They paint a very dark mosaic here that just cannot be ignored. Through the Fog with some more elegant piano and some more soft-spoken vocals. This time it's a duet though, on Night People. And this one goes really, really deep and dark. I had to reread the lyrics a couple times as this track was going on because I just could not believe what I was hearing, what I was reading, what I was feeling. The whole thing combined together into this thing that you just don't understand at first. And then as it unpacks itself, you're just so blown away. It's darker, it's more macabre. And the way this track sends off that final bit, I just cannot believe it goes that dark. But man, I'm happy it did, because it is just incredible. A growl bathed in mellow guitars serves as the finisher on Worthless Animals. But don't get it twisted here. This track is nothing near mellow, not even close. The vocals on here are just really something to behold. They really do send you into a deep, dark abyss, and I feel like it's the guitars that pull you back from the ledge as you awaken and the album finishes. You're left with this feeling of completeness, and that is just one of the most beautiful things that can happen when you're listening to an album. And it happened over and over and over throughout this whole thing, but this final track really brought it home for me. Man, This is an interesting album, and it is quite good. It is damn near perfect with its drums, with the production, with the guitars, all the levels for those, the piano, the spoken vocals. I mean, everything just fits together so well. This is literally a perfect album, a perfect metal album in 2018. Very nice. So that's going to do it for this edition of First Listen. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely check this album out and hit up those comments down below with your thoughts about this album. Man, what else can you say about a band that puts out an album like this, that becomes this thing that I know I'm going to listen to quite a bit the rest of the year? Like, well, you don't say anything else. You let it stand on its own. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time, and have a nice day.